welcome to Bartelle's Money Talk, your go-to podcast for financial empowerment and insight. Let's dive in.
Eric, can you tell the listeners how they can retire and without having a business? Like, is it impossible to retire with having a
Yes.
business or having real estate? Tell us about
Yes,
that.
it's impossible. That's that. The correct answer to that is you can't. I mean, well, there's exceptions. So
Mm-hmm.
if you've ever read the book Outliers by Malcolm
Mm-hmm.
Gladwell, so there are
Mm-hmm.
outliers. I mean, you could win the lottery. That's
Mm-hmm.
possible, right? You could invent some sort of technology and then sell it for licensing rights, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's possible. You might.
Right.
I mean, there are strategies and methods, but when you look at a planned retirement, the mathematics that what people don't understand is the cause of inflation on what happens to your retirement. And so what really happens is you take a sabbatical and then you have to come,
Okay.
you run out of money and then you have to come back into the workforce and then you end up being a greeter at Walmart and because you ran out of money, or you become a burden on your children. You have to move in with your children because you ran out of money. And so they're not factoring in inflation. And so I do some exercises with people to help them understand, let's just assume 3% inflation, which is
Mm-hmm.
historical averages. I mean, we're way above that right now. You go buy eggs right now, you realize inflation's pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But just at 3% inflation, your buying power gets cut in half every 24 years. So whatever $100,000 buys today, 24 years from now, you need $200,000 a year to buy the same thing.
Wow.
And when you
That
look at
is big.
life expectancies, right? Okay, you're going to retire at 63. You think you're going to retire at 63, right? And I've got enough money to get to 80. Yeah, but what if you get to 90? Wait,
Wow.
you ran out of money at 80, but you lived till
Yeah.
90. So okay, how'd you deal with those 10 years? But well, I didn't have many expenses. Wrong. You have medical expenses. Like whatever you
Yes.
Yes, you
think your
will.
expenses went down, your medical expenses more than compensated when you're rising in age like that. And people will say, well, I'm not going to live till I'm 90. It's like, well, hold on. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there's more than a million Americans right now over the age of 100.
Oh,
Whoa.
I didn't know that.
And so careful, right?
Because you
Like
just might.
doctors have gotten good, right? Medicine's gotten good. We're all living longer. And so you don't want to be 80 and running out of money.
Okay, so
And so what does that mean?
based off what you're saying, are you recommending that people have a business or real estate
Yes.
to help sustain them through retirement?
I'm saying you're doomed if you don't. I'm not recommending it. I'm saying it's life and
Oh,
death.
well, that's a
Whoa.
big deal. So,
So,
Eric,
so,
yeah, what do people do if they don't have
have that
that?
right.
You start getting it.
Oh, this gonna be
Uh-huh.
good.
Well, you wake
So,
up today and you start the journey of getting a business or acquiring real estate. And if you say, well, I don't know how, okay, that's fine. Learn. There's lots of things. I didn't know AI 2 years ago.
That's
I
right.
yes,
learned,
yeah.
right? And so you have to get in the game and learn. But if you don't, you got way bigger problems. Way bigger.
Whoa.
Eric, that was good
Oh.
because now if someone is reaching retirement, we have our money expert on here with us, and we're going to dig deep into this.
Mm-hmm.
He
Deep.
is not recommending it. He's saying y-
You're
you better,
doomed.
yeah, you better get some real estate or
Yeah, I mean,
acquire a business.
if you own investment real estate, right, and you have tenants, either residential,
Hmm.
commercial, whatever that is, your
Mm-hmm.
rent that you're collecting goes up with inflation,
That's right.
Yes, it does.
right? It matches inflation or beats inflation. And so whatever
That's
you've
right.
got today is going to increase over time and matches inflation. So you're good. You're fine as long as you have enough. If you don't have enough, you better get enough. And
I'm
so
gonna say
there
like
are
you.
easy
Do.
strategies to do that, right? You don't have to be afraid of it. Right? A lot of people, I'm afraid to buy real estate for investment purposes because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, again, I didn't know what I was doing when I logged into ChatGPT for the first time. But
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
do it, repetition. You have good mentorship, right? People teach you how to do it better. There's lots of smart people out there, right? Find mentorship and learn how to do it better. But get in the game.
Well,
That's the key. Get in the game.
right. Get in the
Get
game.
in the game. Well, listen, audience, welcome to Bartelle's Money Talk. I'm Johnny.
And I am Teresa. And if you are approaching retirement, if you're thinking about retirement, even if you're young and you want to retire and not run out of money, I recommend that you stay and listen to this episode. And Eric, can you please tell the listeners a little bit about you just to show them how credible you are?
Well, I'm Chief Revenue Officer for Nexa Mortgage. We're the largest residential lender in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3,200 loan officers nationwide. I'm also a certified master practitioner in neuro-linguistic programming. I was voted the last 10 years in a row most connected mortgage professional in America. And I teach workshops and seminars on wealth building, tax reduction strategies, how to build wealth by utilizing tax strategies and real estate.
Well, I like that. And so, because we are talking about retirement
Yeah,
at the beginning, because we're going to touch on some more things too closer to
absolutely.
the end. So, I'm telling you, you need to stay on here. And so, Eric, one of the things too that I liked about what he talks about is how if you pay taxes the normal way, it's going to be impossible too with retirement. You need to talk on that, please.
Yeah, so I do an exercise when I teach tax strategies.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hard to get people to engage in learning tax strategies, right? You say tax and people their eyes just gloss over. They're like, oh my God, I don't want to deal with this. I find it fascinating. Like if somebody wants to talk about taxes, I get fully engaged. I'm like, oh my God, this is exciting, right? Because I know how much money it saves me. And so, yeah, you got a new strategy. What is it? As long as it's legal, ethical, and moral, I'm in. Right? That's legal, ethical, moral.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's those three things, I'm in. And so a lot of people think, well, tax reduction is tax evasion. No. Hold on. So let's just say you have a mortgage and the interest on your mortgage is 100% tax deductible and you get a 1099 at the end of the year showing you here's how much you can deduct based on the interest on your mortgage. Is that illegal?
Nope.
Or is that a legal tax deduction?
That's
It's
a legal
legal.
tax.
That's a legal tax deduction. So that's not
Right.
tax avoidance,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's not illegal. That's that's a tax strategy to pay less tax. So
We want to pay
that's all
less
I'm talking
tax.
about. Now, what if you had 92 of those and they're all legal? Oh yeah, you
love it.
get your tax reduced quite a bit. Because I believe that I have a moral responsibility to pay my fair share of taxes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yes.
don't believe that I have a moral obligation to pay more than my fair share of taxes.
I'm with you on that.
Okay, so then what's the game? What are the rules? And how do I get better at it? And the IRS tax code is designed to be complicated on purpose because they don't want the average American understanding it because then you'll pay less taxes and then they got a problem.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's complicated on purpose.
Complicated.
It
Right.
is.
I believe that.
It
And
is.
so most people's eyes gloss over. Right?
It is.
So I do this exercise when I teach the tax strategies right in the beginning. I put it up on the PowerPoint. I take a copper penny, 1 cent, say, okay, we're going to double this every day. And how long? So day 1, you have a penny. Day 2, you have 2 cents. Day 3, you have 4 cents. Then 8 cents, 16 cents, 32 cents, 64 cents, and on we go. How long until you're a millionaire? So I'll ask you guys.
I'm waiting for that answer.
I'll ask you.
I have no
best
clue.
guess.
You the math guy. I'm the money girl.
How long till you're a millionaire? If you're talking about compounding, I would say you'll be a millionaire by the time you about 50.
I'm saying a million
like
years.
how many years, months, weeks? What are
How many years?
starting at day 1?
Sound
How
like
long?
too many to me.
Now I ain't even gonna guess because I'm thinking I'll guess wrong.
I know I'll guess wrong. So give
So what
us
have
the
I told
answer.
you? Okay, so what have I told you is 28 days.
I definitely would believe that.
And
28
that's kind of
days, you're
hard
a
to
millionaire.
believe.
At day 30, you have just over $6 million.
Hold up, back up and repeat that again for the audience because I wanna hear how we get to 28 days and you're a millionaire. Back that up again.
You do the math. So day 1 is a penny, day 2 is 2 cents, 4 cents, 8 cents, 16 cents, 32 cents, 64 cents, $1.28, $2.56.
It grows.
$5.12. Right? $5.12. So I'm 10 days in, I'm at $5.12. Right? But then it goes to 10, 20, 40, 80, and it goes up fast. And so by day 28, you have over $1 million. By day 30,
Yeah.
I think you're over $6 million.
But
Okay,
the
so
average
now,
American can't
so
do that.
so people get shocked, right? Like your reaction. People
Right.
get shocked that compounded interest works that way. That it can work that fast on the back end. The front end is very boring. 2 cents, 4 cents, 8 cents. Very boring. But the back 15 days, oh, that gets exciting. Those numbers start doubling real fast. Like, ooh, those are exciting.
Yeah, because the more you get,
Yeah, the more you
The
get,
more
the
you
more
get, the more it doubles. Okay, so now here's not understanding a tax strategy. So now I'm going to do the exact same exercise. But I'm going to tax you as you go. So day one, you have a penny. Day one, you get a new penny, but we're going to tax that penny at 30%. So you have 1.7 cents.
Yeah.
Right? So day three, you've got your 1.7 cents. You're going to get a new 1.7 cents, but we're going to tax that as we go. Day four, you have this, and we're just going to tax you at 30% as you go, like how most Americans are taxed. At the end of 30 days, you have $28,000 instead of $6 million.
That's some interesting math. I mean, the compounding makes sense. So based on what you're saying, I'm like, well, if you're not investing, you should be investing. So on the back end,
it's not just about investing; it's about your taxes.
Yeah.
Okay,
how are you
see,
investing, and what's your tax strategy on the gains?
Okay. Now I see what you're doing, because I'm thinking, oh, stocks, mutual funds. Okay, you got to be invested. But when you're talking about
You're paying capital gains every time you sell something.
Yeah.
And if you're going to do that, put it inside your Roth IRA. Now all of your gains are tax free.
Yes.
Did you know you can trade stocks inside your self-directed Roth IRA?
Yes, and that.
Did you know you can buy real estate inside a self-directed Roth IRA and never pay tax on the gain?
Well, see, I'm glad you clarified that, because everybody been like, what? So I'm glad you went that route and clarified what you meant by that.
Yeah,
so those are just some easy. Those are the easy strategies, right? Like you can buy a 6,000 pound truck and write it off. You ever wonder why you see so many Mercedes G wagons on the street, especially real estate agents? It's a write-off. It's over 6,000 pounds.
Wow. So the real estate agents are using it as a tax write-off with their business.
They're self-employed.
And they get to drive around,
even when they're not on business. It's a huge tax deduction.
In the G wagon.
Yeah. Well, that was good. So you wanna?
Yeah. Well. I want to go. Well, yeah. I want to hit something, but I want to hit something you said early on that was kind of on my mind, and you said it, and I was like, okay, what if? And this is about retirement, and you saying that they must invest in either real estate or business, right? So what if somebody's looking at this episode and say, okay, I hear what you're saying, Eric, but I ain't got no money to invest in none of this stuff. What I'm gonna do? How I'm gonna start get real estate or do some investing? You know, I might have $50,000 in the bank. What do they do?
You can buy real estate with $10,000.
10,000.
Okay, let's talk. Go ahead, break it down. Let's talk.
Well,
really?
Okay, so let's start with some basics, right? I'm going to assume the watcher, whoever's watching this video, may know nothing about real estate.
Yes, let's do it.
They drive past it, but they don't know anything about it, right?
Right.
Okay, so let's just compare buying a house, like a primary residence, versus renting a house or renting an apartment. Let's just talk, because a lot of people say, well, it's cheaper to rent. Is it? So when you rent, don't you need first month's rent, last month's rent, and a damage deposit up front?
Yep, all of that. All of that. Yes.
We don't need anything. You can buy a house with nothing. We'll give you all the money, including closing costs.
You have a point there.
Yeah. That's a valid
So which one's cheaper? Zero or first month's rent, last month's rent, and a damage deposit? Which one's cheaper? To me, zero seems cheaper.
But over the long term, which is cheaper
so long term, right? So the mind tells us stories to stop us from doing the thing we should be doing.
Okay, and that's probably my mind.
Right? Or you just buy a house. How about that? Now, it doesn't have to be a 9-bedroom whatever, right? You can. Did you know you can buy a 4-plex and rent out the other 3 units to help you make the mortgage payment?
That is true.
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
That is
true. So there's
true.
lots of ways, right? So rather than saying, yeah, but, right, it's better to think, what could I do that makes sense for me?
Okay.
Right? And
And
then you'll
so
look for things that will make that make sense for you.
you're listening to another episode of Bartelle's Money Talk. We'll be right back after a quick word from our sponsors. Take charge of your financial future with Bartelle's Financial Coaching, led by Teresa Bartelle. We offer personalized guidance to overcome debt and achieve financial peace. Our results-oriented approach provides actionable strategies for lasting change, no matter your background. We welcome you to schedule a free consultation today at 830-252-0320. Start your journey towards a brighter financial future today.
So here's what I try and say to people. And you've heard these cliches, right? If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't, right? And so if I said, can you think of evidence that if you were to look for it, would tell you that this is a great time to make money in the market, real estate market, stock market? Could you find evidence, if you were looking for it, that says this is a good time?
Absolutely.
I'm sure
Okay.
I could.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. In the opposite, if you were looking for evidence, could you find evidence that says this is a bad time?
I'm sure
Absolutely.
I could.
Ah,
All the above.
so
Yes.
you can find
All the
evidence on
above.
either side of
Yeah.
any fence. So the thing you control is which one you want to believe. And then go search for the evidence that supports that belief system.
Well, Eric, I have to ask you this question because we're talking about retirement and you're mentioning a business or real estate. Do you think someone should go into retirement with debt on their business or real estate?
I don't care about debt. I care about cash flow.
Whoa.
You could have $10 million worth of debt. I don't care. I care about what is that debt paying you, right? If you have $30 million worth of real estate and you have $10 million worth of mortgages and you're cash flowing $90,000 a month, would you look at that and say, yeah, but I have $10 million in debt? No.
Well, I might not. I probably wouldn't if I'm making that much
if you're making
per month
mm,
and it's making money. So can you just talk just a little bit about that piece, like for people who are concerned about going into retirement with debt? Because the way you just explained it, that makes sense. But if you could just talk on it just a little bit, like if someone is thinking about going this route, but then, they're like, well, I don't want to go into it with debt.
Let's first define who taught you debt is bad. Can we agree it's our parents and grandparents?
Yes, and some financial gurus too.
No. No, I don't know any financial gurus. I mean, like bad debt is bad debt. Like credit card debt is bad debt,
Absolutely.
right? But mortgages aren't bad debt. Mortgages are 100% tax deductible debt.
But interest is.
The interest,
And the taxes, right?
It's the
But
and the expenses on the property. It's all tax deductible. And depreciation and cost segregation studies and I'll go on and on and on. I could bring your taxes down to zero.
man, I can't win this argument with you.
Well, so hold on. So let's just start with it's not about winning. It's just about seeking truth. Let's just seek truth.
Well,
right? I don't want to win or lose. I just want to get access to the truth.
And I want to have fun with
That's
the truth.
Okay. Having fun's good. I see the both of us got the shave your head, have a beard memo.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, because that and Eric, I know with the business that you're in and the clients that you have, I'm sure you've come across, people who are like afraid to go into retirement even with mortgage debt.
Absolutely. I'm sure.
Especially if that's their primary home, they don't have real estate or they don't have a business.
But let's say your debt costs you $3,000 a month, right? You have debt. You're 60 years old and your mortgage payment is $3,000 a month, right?
Okay.
Well, you have rental properties paying you $20,000 a month.
So really,
that's
not
it's a wash, right?
Yeah, right. Because you're still banking $17,000 a month. I mean, after you pay.
What I care about is your cash flow. I don't care about your debt. I care about your cash flow. Now, if you're going into retirement with $3,000 a month with no cash flow, well, now you're in trouble. But I got news for you. You got a problem either way. because whether you
Yeah.
have a mortgage or don't have a mortgage, you got property taxes, you got homeowners insurance, you got
Mm-hmm.
groceries, you got gas, you have
Mm-hmm.
expenses. So it's not about not having debt. It's about having cash flow. What's your cash flow? Where's it coming from? And if you don't have that, I don't care whether you have a mortgage or don't have a mortgage, you're screwed.
Eric, I am enjoying
Yeah.
this
Yeah. Yes.
so
Yes.
much. And just to be
Yes.
transparent, like the information that you're sharing is making my wheels start turning. Honestly, it really is because I'm so like bent on the debt thing. So
Mm.
I'll just be honest with you, but
I'm
because
going to
you
suggest
presented
to
it
you
this
that
way.
that was taught to you by your parents and grandparents because of the Great Depression,
Mm-hmm.
right? We're
Mm-hmm.
only 3 4 generations from it,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
right? And so we have it's generational DNA trauma,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like
Yeah.
when think about being a young child and you see a snake and you know to be afraid of the snake.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know to be
Whoa,
afraid.
Yeah.
how do you know to be afraid of the snake? Because
They
the
taught me.
DNA
It was.
has been passed on to you to know to be
It,
Oh
afraid of
it,
yes,
snakes.
absolutely.
You
Somebody
don't
told
need
you
to be
that snake will
taught
bite.
to be afraid of
Right.
snakes,
Right.
that's right.
right? Your
Right.
DNA knows that's bad.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so your generational DNA trauma from the Great Depression is carried forward. Like debt is bad, right?
That's
Because
true.
what if? And there are
Yeah.
lots of what if scenarios. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not. When somebody, I saw this great comedian. He's talking about, this person who said, "Yeah, I don't believe in any of the conspiracy theories." And he said, and he looked at him and said, "Any? I mean, you think the government's just batting 1,000 and telling us 100% of the truth all the time, and like there's not any conspiracy theory that's right? Like you believe in none of it? Like none? I mean, that's pretty arrogant to believe in none of the. I mean, I'm not saying you got to believe that the Earth is flat or we never went to the moon. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's some conspiracy theories that
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna give a little side eye on, but none. Like
Right.
that's a pretty bold statement.
It
And
is.
so when you look at what's going on right now, right,
Wow.
the wealth gap that's
Oh
happening.
Yeah, it's
yes.
huge.
Oh yes.
Okay, but a society can't sustain that. If you look at history, right, the majority rises up and says
Mm-hmm.
that's not okay, which is kind of what's happening right now. Right? And it's
Right.
getting worse
Mm-hmm.
by the day.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yes.
Okay, so could you create a conspiracy theory that, there's going to be a collapse of some kind and oh my god, here's doomsday's coming.
Mm-hmm.
You create a conspiracy theory around it. And I think there are checks and balances, and I'm not a doomsday guy. But I come back to I can survive a doomsday a lot better if I own real estate. I got problems in a doomsday scenario if I don't own real estate. But if I'm the landlord, seems like I got an edge up.
You're true.
That's
That's
true.
true. And like
The
while I'm
the
sitting here
the,
thinking, I wonder if staying out of debt can equal to you staying broke too.
well, it
You got
could.
my wheels turning.
It could. Yeah.
Staying out of debt can keep you broke if it's not,
Good.
So
something that's good debt.
if you bought a rental, let's just say you bought a rental property, okay, and to buy that rental property, you had to take out a mortgage of $500,000. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
does that
Mm-hmm.
wig you out a little bit? $500,000 mortgage on a rental property, you owe $500,000. A lot of
Yes.
money.
Yes.
Let's just say your mortgage payment with taxes and insurance and everything was all expenses all in is about $4,000 a month. But your rent is $5,000. Does the mortgage scare you now?
Well, you're getting $1,000.
I'm making money
You're
off of
making
it, so
yes.
I
You're
probably
$1,000
wouldn't even think
profit.
about it.
Yeah.
Oh. But you wouldn't think about owing $500,000?
It probably would be in my I probably wouldn't think about it until I didn't have a renter
A renter.
Okay.
Yeah.
in there.
And
Then I might
so
think
would you
about it.
agree
But as
it's
long as I got a
critical to
renter,
make sure you're buying a property where it's easy to find renters?
yes,
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to buy a rental property where it's hard to find renters.
got that right.
That
That's
means
Okay.
true.
you
So
buy it in the
that's a
desirable area.
filter. So that's a filter, right?
You are super smart. And your experiences shows, oh yes, Eric, in order for you to have this
Yeah.
level,
Yeah.
yes, you
I,
have
I
seen a
I've had
lot.
great mentors. I've had great mentors, and I take a lot of notes and I implement what they teach.
I
Nice.
like that.
Nice.
Well, this
So
this is good. Yeah,
so
keep going.
so so now I'm have to come back to because we know you wrote a book, The Why of Money. Okay, so what inspired you to write The Why of Money? Is it some of the conversation that we're currently having now?
No, no. So if you think of what I believe to be true, is anything significant, any significant decision any of us make in our lives is for one of two reasons. We're either trying to honor the past or heal the past. That's it. There's no third option. Right. And
I like
so
that.
in 2000, it would have been 2004. So I've been in the mortgage industry since 1999, 2004. I'm on a great ride. Think back to 2004. I'm in the mortgage industry. I'm making
Mhm.
more money than I'd ever dreamed of making. Right.
Mhm.
It was just crazy town. And my mentor, who I looked up to and idolized, like I wanted to be him. I was molding myself to, he had the perfect life. Everything he did was exactly the way I wanted to do it. Right. And so he said jump. I asked how high and how many times. Like, yes. And
I
he came and did a
understand.
site visit. And I was in Minnesota at the time. He was in California. He flew out to Minnesota to site visit. My whole team knew who he was and knew how important he was to me. And so everybody was on their best behavior and everybody, like, we were like a military inspection, right? And he gave us great feedback, good learning lessons. And so he and I are having dinner that night and I'm feeling proud. It was good learning, right? But I'm feeling pretty proud. And he looked at me and said, so Eric, I'm just curious, after a day like today and all the money you're making, like why are you making the money? Like, what are you gonna do with it? And I looked at him, I was like, huh? I didn't even understand the
Wow.
question. Like my brain was processing the question and it was just coming back with a question mark. Like, huh?
Mhm.
What do you mean? Why
Mhm.
do I? Because it's money. That's what you make.
Right.
I don't like what?
Mhm.
Like that's asking Michael Jordan, why do you want another ring? Because there's another ring. Like, what do you mean?
Right.
I don't understand the question. And so this is the moment of trauma for me because for the very first time he looked at me with disappointment. Yeah, I could see it in his eyes and it crushed me. It cracked me in half just with a look. It was just a look. He didn't say anything, just his eyes shifted, right? I couldn't answer
Mhm.
the question. Why do I want? I don't know. Because that's what you want. And so it shot me on this journey. Okay, if I can't answer the question, who can? Somebody's got to have a good answer to that question. I'm going to go on this journey of finding the right answer because I don't have
Mhm.
it. And
Mhm.
so I started interviewing people, and then I realized, oh, a lot of people don't have the right answer. Okay, I'm not alone here. Okay, so I need to filter this. And so I created a filter of only people that do what I do, like sell for a living. So you could be a realtor, mortgage, financial planner, CPA. I don't care what you sell, but you sell for a living. You make more than $1 million
Mhm.
a year. That's my filter. If you make less than $1 million a year, I don't want your opinion. If you make more than $1 million a year, why?
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I started interviewing like anybody I could get my hands on. Why do you make more than you need? Why do you work so hard? Why do you make millions of dollars? Like why? And I realized real quick that people making less than $1 million a year do it for these reasons. And people who make more than $1 million a year do it for these reasons. Very different
Wow.
reasons. And so when I ask people questions and I listen to the words, I already know whether you're making less or more than $1 million just on the words you're choosing. Yeah, it's fascinating. And so the people that are making
Got it.
less than $1 million a year give me answers like, well, security. Well, I want to invest. Well, I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to go on a vacation. I want to, that's why I want to make money. I already know you're not going to do it. Thank you. I already know you're not going to do it. It's not going to happen. It's like if I ask you, why do you want to lose weight? Well, because if I weigh less, I'm healthier. Okay. Now I know you're not going to lose the weight.
Mhm.
That's not a strong,
Wow.
but you already knew that and you're fat anyway.
Mhm.
So that's not the reason that's going to cause you to change your lifestyle.
Right. It has to be a strong why.
Why? Yeah.
It
Your
has
why
to be
gotta be
so
yeah.
strong that you'll run through brick walls, right? And so there were only 5 answers that came back that were that strong from the people making more than $1 million. And I noticed, and it was variations of the 5,
Mhm.
but it was all the same 5. So I wrote a treatment, and a friend of mine knew a book publisher and got off to the book publisher, and they asked me to prove my theory. And so I did an exercise with them, and there's a video on my website where I do the same exercise, and they're like, "Oh my God, It's like, yeah. And so I proved it. And they gave me a contract to write the book. And so it took me about 6 months to write the book on the five answers. And so chapter 1 is the 5 answers. Here's the 5 answers. So I say at the end of chapter 1, look, if none of these 5 answers resonated with you, put the book down. Stop reading. Like, get out of sales. Stop selling for a living. You'll never make money. You're going to be broke forever. It won't happen. Now, if one of those 5 reasons resonate with you, then keep going. I'm going to show you how. So the other chapters are how.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Nice.
And so, yeah, it's and the other thing I say, if I'm asking you about your why and you're answering me and not weeping, then that's not it.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Mm.
Your why gotta be so strong it need to make you cry.
Yeah.
If
'Cause
it
it
doesn't
is.
take the breath out of your lungs, it's not it.
Mm.
Because
I always say your why got to be bigger than you.
if your why is big enough, the how becomes easy.
Right, 'cause it'll
The
push
how is
you.
hard when your why is not big enough.
Ooh, this was so powerful. But
Mhm.
I have to like offer your book. I like a little tagline. I'm gonna read this to you. And if you can give me like one that can help the listeners, and it's like with your book, how to get out of your own way and finally earn what you deserve. Can you give the listeners one thing that they can do to get out of their own way so they can actually start earning what they're worth?
The first thing you have to, so think of Alcoholics Anonymous, right?
Hmm.
We've all seen them on TV and movies. Hopefully you haven't been to a meeting, but if you have, congratulations, you got
Yeah,
there.
if you
Hold
have,
on,
yeah,
congratulations, you got there.
right. You got there and you're doing
But
well.
what
Good.
is step 1 of AA? You have to admit
Admitting
that
it.
you're the problem.
Right.
Hello,
Mhm.
my name is Eric and I'm an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Step 1. So
That's right.
if you want to start making money, hello, my name is Eric. I'm broke and I'm the reason. Not the market. It's not my family. It's not my friends. It's not my circumstances. It's not where I was born. It's not whether I do or do not have a disability. None of that is relevant. I am the problem. Now,
That gave me goosebumps, Eric.
and then how do I fix me?
That was powerful. Okay.
That's called financial counseling. No,
Yeah,
okay.
that was that you gave
Um.
me goosebumps. Oh, that was good.
So, all right, Eric. So this is it. Who needs to find you if they want to locate you? Who is that audience that need to find you?
So if you're looking to buy real estate, if you're looking for business financing, if you're looking for access to capital, right? That's what I do for a living. I provide capital.
Hmm.
So you can find me at eric-mitchell.com, ERIC-Mitchell, MITCHELL.com. All my information's there. And lots of free resources, lots of things to click on, lots of free access. I'm a big believer that as a consumer, and I believe this about myself, so I assume it of everybody else, is what I really want
Hmm.
is transparency and choices.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's what I want. Make it transparent what I'm deciding on. Don't make it a bunch of gobbledygook, right?
Hmm.
Because if I don't understand it, I'm not buying it. Right? Make
That's
it
right.
transparent and give me choices. Don't tell me what to do. Give me choices so I understand what the parameters are. And as long as you do
Beautiful.
that as a partner of mine, you're transparent and you give me choices, then let's do business.
That's
All right.
And so
wonderful. So
that's what I plan.
tell the listeners the name of your book and where they can find it.
So the why of money, there's a link on my website, eric-mitchell.com. There's also a free video. It's a 15-minute video about the 5 reasons. So you can, if you're curious about what the 5 reasons, and what I say is you don't need all 5, you just need one.
Hmm.
Right? You can have more than one. I'm not saying you're capped at one. You can have more than one, but you need at least one
Hmm.
of those 5 has to land on you as, oh, that's me. Like for me, so one of them is emotional gratification. And so that was mine for 30 years. My dad was dysfunctional and implanted a bunch of bad software, and I needed to prove him wrong.
Hmm.
And so I
Mhm.
spent 30 years
Hmm.
proving him wrong. I didn't care about the money. The money was a byproduct. Don't get me wrong. I'm grateful for it,
Hmm.
but that wasn't what
Hmm.
drove me. What drove me was proving him wrong.
Nice.
And so I needed a gold medal moment. So what defines he's wrong? There were 2 filters. So I have to beat him in these 2 things then I win. I prove him wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And in 2019, I got the moment. He doesn't know. We haven't talked for 20 years. He doesn't know that I got the moment. I don't need him to know. I just needed to prove it.
And you did.
Wow.
And I did.
Well, you
And
did.
so, yeah, it felt good, but it collapsed the driver. It wasn't a driver anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be careful. You got to replace the driver. So one of the stories I tell is the singer in the 70s, Janis Joplin. Her driver was she wanted to be the #1 female recording artist on the planet. And she got it. And then she didn't replace the driver. So it was empty. There was a vacuum. And so in that vacuum, she had to fill it. She didn't know what to fill it with, so she turned to drugs. And she died. She didn't replace the driver.
Wow.
And so
Eric.
you got to understand these components, right? You got to read. You got to read a lot of books.
Oh, yes.
Right? Good books. And you've got to implement, and you've got to learn, and you've got to implement and implement. Don't be caught in analysis paralysis. Take baby steps, but take steps. Whatever that is, right? If you want to buy a house, buy a house. You want to buy a fourplex, buy a fourplex. You want to buy your first investment property? Great. How do I do that? Eric, I don't have the money. Okay, well, if you don't have the money, let's start with a primary residence. You don't need money. You need income. But you can also count rental income, and there are other things you can do. And if you don't have income, well, then go get a job, right? Start there.
That'd be a good start.
That's the first step. Yeah.
There's lots of free resources in your community that will help you in all these steps, right? But those are the steps. Do those steps. You don't need to take 9 steps at a crack. Take 1 step, get good at it, then take the next step. Get good at it, take the next step, get good at it, but take a step, right? Don't be stuck. And if you've got enough time at home to watch TV or play video games or sit on your phone scrolling, then you got plenty of time to build wealth. You're just spending your time.
Absolutely. We agree.
Well, Eric, listen, thank you so much for joining Bartelle's Money Talk and providing all this valuable knowledge. I'm sure it's going to be very helpful to the listeners. If you like this episode, please like, share, and subscribe, and just share it with others so they can get this information too, because it's very vital that we're not broke, but we have wealth that we can retire well one day. So, from Bartelle's Money Talk, we would like to thank you, Eric, for joining our show and providing this information.
And until next time, we'll talk to you next week. Take care.
That's all for today's episode of Bartelle's Money Talk. We hope you found our discussion insightful and empowering.
If you want to stay connected and access more tips and resources, don't forget to subscribe to Bartelle's Money Talk on your preferred podcast platform.
And please consider leaving us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more listeners like you.
For even more financial guidance and exclusive content, visit our website at bartellscoaching.com.
Until next time, remember, the journey to financial freedom is within reach.
I'm Teresa.
And I'm Johnny Bartelle, signing off. Take care, and here's to your financial success.